Okay, week 4 of the Forge. My opponent is Massive Mac. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing their name correctly, but here we have a team that went through a lot of changes. So actually, at first I was going to... This would have been the week where I ran all Intimidate. But unfortunately my opponent went through lots of changes to their team, and now running 6 Intimidate mons versus their draft doesn't look like a good idea. So first we have the Terra Sandy Shocks, which doesn't really scare me at all. We have the Wochian to deal with that, even Cryogonal, as well as Gastrodon. Like, electric types are a non-issue. Yeah, it can Terra into grass or just Terra into something super effective for any of those 3, but it's still not a problem. It can't cover all 3 at once. Then we have Terra Leafeon. Once again, not too scary. We have lots of Intimidate options. We have Boros, and yeah, it can't really break through me. There's Tinkatuff, and now I know it can have own tempo to be immune to Intimidate. So nothing stands out too much from me, except maybe the Sarina is a decent hazard control option, and Muck's Poison Touch could get out of hand. So I looked through the team and I noticed after a Sticky Web, Swordfish Dance Quillfish will actually win. So that was the goal I had in mind, and this is what I built to support that goal. So first we have Gastrodon. It's max, well not max, but very physically defensive with Sticky Hold. This is to block most physical attackers, which is Talonflame, Muck, and Tinkatuff. And with Sticky Hold, Muck and Tinkatuff can't knock off my item. Stealth Rock is to make sure that Talonflame has to run boots. If it's itemless acrobatics or choice band Brave Bird, it'll be way easier to keep in check. Wochian, I didn't know what Terra type to go for, but I could have went Ghost. I honestly don't know what I was thinking with this Terra Grass. Maybe I was watching the predictions. There were some pick'ems, and I noticed that the guy who thought Terra Grass was a good idea. So I was like, I'll just do Terra Grass. I mean, yeah, it is a good idea. It gets rid of my weaknesses from Dark type. So that's good. This is just another Sub-Seed set. Max Fizdef. Once again, this time to check the Grass type physical attackers. And yep. Next, we have Electrode. Pretty good momentum bringer. Lots of Massive Max team can't switch into it. He only has Muck and Sarina. I don't think he would want to switch in Leafeon or Sandy Shocks because those could be his win conditions. Static because even though I can't be Intimidate spam, he still has a few physical attackers I wouldn't mind. Boots is to allow me to keep Vault Switch spamming on him, and Taunt is to stop the hazards. Here's the Sticky Web. Yep, I'm going with Choice Scarf again because I want to get a web off versus Talonflame. Hopefully I die at the same time from Brave Bird. This time I'm running Max because I don't want to lose by 1 point again. Now we have Swordfish. We have 2 Intimidate mons here. Swordfish is the win condition. The speed is to make sure that I outspeed Frostless after webs. And then at +2, I should be able to 1-hit KO or 2-hit KO everything. with just my stabs. Aqua Jet is to deal with Talonflame if its Gale Wings is still intact. And then we have Weirdeer. This is a very experimental set. We have Stab Stipper to deal with the grass types, lots of special defense to deal with Meloetta, and then just a flurry of moves. Mega Horn is also to deal with Meloetta. Body Slam gets me some nice paralysis chance. And Side Shield Bash is its signature move. It has a 100% chance to raise defense. So if I get around to Side Shield Bashing, maybe against the Pirouette form of Meloetta, then, or even against the Talonflame, then I'll just become an omnipotent Juggernaut with plus defense, plus attack if I switch into a grass move, then the special defense EVs, and yeah, I'll just be good at everything. So let's get into the battle. The plan is to get up webs, and then just let Swordfish win right away. So here's the team. I could lead with webs, but there is a Talonflame which could just priority Brave Bird me. So instead, what I'm going to do is start with Electrode. It leads very well versus the team, and I can just Volt Switch if it's the Serena. Over here, I picked the lead correctly. I survive a flying move, so I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch. I can scare out Sarina with a Bug Buzz and get up my webs. So now I don't have too much good switch-ins because my Gastrodon isn't Storm Train, and I want to preserve Quillfish as much as possible. So I'm going to Wo-Chien. Thankfully there's no Scald in this game, but I forgot this thing gets Baton Pass. And now out comes Serena with a free Rapid Spin. This is when Terra Ghost would have been very helpful. Also, I noticed from that Rapid Spin that it was heavy duty boots, because now it's at +1 speed instead of neutral. So that's a problem. So the Bug Buzz doesn't do much. I decide, well, I'm just spam some more Bug Buzz so that he can't repeat this sequence next time I get up a sticky web. And now comes Talonflame. I'm like, okay, well, here's my Talonflame check. And Mac U-turns away into Sarina. And that's not good, so into my Masquerain again. Thankfully, Intimidate is doing some work here. And I get crit by the U-turn. It doesn't matter too much, but here comes Talonflame. I am stuck in a vortex. And I tried to call out the U-turn spam, and it didn't work out very well. So, Webs is no longer there, but it's not the end of the world, actually. At +2, the Sandy Shock should still die pretty easily from Aqua Jet. Unless, of course, it's Terra of some sort of water resist. And then Meloetta is also not that physically defensive. Over here, I try to get some momentum back. I try to scare it out with a poison move, but it just stays into U-turn, which is fine by me. Now comes Meloetta. I should have thought that through, but I do have a check. Even if it turns into the fighting form, I have Terra Grass to tank. But instead it goes for a really strong Hyper Voice. So that reveals to be Spec Meloetta. So I just Terra Grass right away, get rid of my extra weakness to U-turn. And sure enough, that helped because my substitute survived the U-turn. Here comes Sandy Shocks. And it seems to be a Terra Grass Ditto with substitute, so that's a problem. My Leech Seed can't touch it at all. But thankfully, Ruination breaks its sub, but it's not gonna break its sub anymore if he goes for it. If he goes for it below 50%. So yeah, over here he can go for a sub for free. I tried calculating if Terra Grass Energy Ball would break the sub, it doesn't. So I just have to accept that it'll take 2 turns to break the sub. It's an Iron Defense! Some sort of Iron Defense. And it's Body Press. Like, oh, okay. I should be able to tank it, but I get crit, which is pretty unlucky there. And as you can see, Energy Ball did not break the sub from full. I survived this one, and Energy Ball gets a good roll to kill the Sandy Shocks. But Wo-Chien is pretty much out of commission, and it is looking very bad. So here I just get off my Thunderbolt, or my Vault Switch, because it's very free. Over here I make a bad play. I send out Weirdeer, hoping I can take it, but the Hyper Voice is just too strong. I know I said it was confirmed Specs, but I did not notice that until now. So Weirdeer dies for nothing. I could have gotten a very important Mega Horn here. And now Meloetta just clean. Meloetta went completely under my radar. I didn't expect Specs at all. I thought it was a pirouette form because, as you'll see in a future draft league, I drafted a Meloetta for the purpose of its pirouette form, and I completely overlooked its Frost special attack. So the set was Boots, Sarina, Specs, Meloetta, and Banded Talonflame. Those were the 3 mons that put in the most work. I was stuck in a really bad vortex. I should have called out those pivot moves a little better. That was rough. I was very tunnel visioned on that Swordfish sweep. I thought once the Talonflame got recoil from Brave Bird, it was a wrap, but things are not as simple as they seem. A very heavy loss, but next.